Beneath the serene forests and snow-capped mountains of Europe lie forgotten passageways, cold, silent, and carved in secrecy. They're not marked on maps. Most were erased from memory. But they exist, waiting to be uncovered. What did the Nazis build under the earth during the dying years of World War? Why go to such extraordinary lengths to hide these places? And what has been discovered recently that left historians and scientists stunned? These aren't abandoned bunkers or mere military shelters. They are part of a vast underground network tunnels that go for miles, connecting secret laboratories, fortified strongholds, and mysterious sealed vaults. Before we continue, please subscribe, hit the like button, and click the notification bell for more amazing stories to come. And what they contain may rewrite our understanding of Nazi Germany's final ambitions. In the last 2 decades, a wave of discoveries has pulled back the veil on some of the most hidden operations of the Third Reich. With modern technology, ground-penetrating radar, infrared scans, and AI-assisted historical analysis, we are beginning to see what was never meant to be found. So what was the real purpose of these tunnels? And what secrets did they conceal, secrets that may never have surfaced, if not for a series of accidental discoveries? Join us now as we descend into the forgotten underground world of the Third Reich. By the early 1940s, SE Germany was losing ground in the skies. Evolved into industrial sites. Mines were converted into hidden laboratories deep beneath hotels, castles, and forests. The Nazis created what some would later call a buried empire. At the center of this strategy were men like Martin Bormann and Heinrich Himmler, trusted aides to Hitler, who oversaw large-scale construction and the brutal labor systems that made it possible. Some of these sites were modest storage rooms or command centers. Others were sprawling complexes capable of housing hundreds. There were bunkers wired with electricity, running water, and radio equipment. And in many cases, these facilities were deliberately destroyed or sealed by the Nazis themselves as the Allies closed in. The full scope of what was built remained elusive until now. Recent disclosures from formally classified archives revealed that as early as 1943, the Nazi High Command had drafted contingency plans for establishing underground cities, complete with agriculture, manufacturing, and command infrastructure. These were not merely hiding places, but fortresses from which to rebuild and regroup. In 2004, a luxury hotel in the Bavarian Alps began renovations. Workers dug beneath the foundation, expecting nothing more than soil and rock. Instead, they hit something metallic, an iron door embedded in concrete. It was sealed tight. When opened, it revealed a staircase, dark and steep, descending into a hidden space untouched since 1945. What they found stunned even the most seasoned historians. Concrete corridors stretched in every direction. Nazi insignia still clung to the crumbling walls. Rooms were preserved like time capsules, complete with rusting typewriters, ration tins, and handwritten orders signed in 1944. One chamber contained a map, a floor plan that extended far beyond the space they had entered. Entire sections were not on any known records. Some doors were welded shut. Others led to staircases spiraling downward into collapsed passageways. Experts from the German Archaeological Institute confirmed its authenticity. This was not just a bomb shelter. This was a wartime command post, likely used by high-ranking Nazi officers. Excavations continued for months. Behind sealed crates, They found documents, original V2 rocket schematics, correspondence from Heinrich Himmler's office, and a peculiar set of blueprints labeled Project Morgenrot, Project Dawn. These discoveries reignited interest in long-debunked claims that Hitler's regime had built escape tunnels for leadership to flee into the Alps or even out of Europe entirely. Researchers now had physical proof these tunnels existed and that they were far more elaborate than previously known. Additionally, digital scans and historical overlays revealed that many of these underground facilities had been connected by narrow-gauge rail systems, elevators, and communication wires. The Nazis had, in essence, created entire underground transit and logistics systems that modern engineers are still studying today. But this was just the beginning. Behind the concrete and steel of the Nazi underground lay a brutal truth. These fortresses were not built by engineers alone. They were constructed by thousands of prisoners, men, women, even children forced to labor under horrific conditions. Survivors of these tunnel projects described working 16-hour shifts with little food or water. The air was thick with dust. Rock blasting caused frequent havens. Guards patrolled with dogs and rifles, and punishments for collapse or sabotage were immediate and deadly. Many of these laborers came from concentration camps like Mauthausen, Dachau, and Gross Rosen. They were dragged in chains from overcrowded train cars and ordered to dig, carve, and pour concrete. Few made it out alive. Testimonies collected after the war tell of disease, starvation, and death. Some tunnels were deliberately sealed with workers still inside, either as punishment or to prevent knowledge of the projects from escaping. Documents, later recovered, linked Martin Bormann directly to the command structure overseeing these projects. Orders from his office approved construction budgets and workforce quotas, many of which came from the SS-run organization taught a massive military engineering group responsible for large infrastructure projects using forced labor. Even now, as teams excavate these underground chambers, they often find remnants of personal belongings, shoes, makeshift tools, tattered uniforms, evidence of the human cost buried in darkness. In one collapsed section near Linz, Austria, researchers uncovered a hidden alcove filled with carved names and tally marks. It was a secret record, an effort by prisoners to count their days and preserve their names before they vanished. The legacy of these forced laborers is slowly being recognized. Memorials now mark some tunnel entrances. Historical commissions work to catalog the identities of those lost beneath the earth. So what exactly did the Nazis plan to do with these underground worlds? Theories abound, and some stretch the imagination. The most grounded explanation involves weapons production. Toward the end of the war, Germany ramped up development of the V2 rocket, the world's first long-range ballistic missile. These rockets were constructed underground to protect them from Allied bombers. Facilities like the one in Nordhausen, known as Mittelwerk, were entirely subterranean. Wernher von Braun, who later became a key figure in NASA, conducted his work there, though the cost in human lives was immense. Other bunkers likely served as backup command centers. In the event Berlin fell, leadership could retreat to fortified underground locations, maintain communication, and continue resistance. But some discoveries defy easy explanation. In several hidden vaults, teams found stacks of lead-lined boxes containing radiation shielding. One chamber held unusual metallic cylinders, carefully sealed and surrounded by elaborate ventilation systems. Some believe these point to secret energy or propulsion experiments, perhaps even nuclear ambitions. And then there are the stranger claims of occult rituals, esoteric libraries, and research into otherworldly phenomena. The SS under Himmler had an entire division, the Afnanarbe, dedicated to pseudoscientific research and ancient mysteries. Documents recovered from a tunnel near Wellsburg Castle referenced gateways, dimensional bridges, and rituals allegedly conducted underground. While no direct evidence confirms these claims, the references and recovered texts have fueled decades of speculation. Conspiracy theorists have suggested that some of the tunnel complexes were meant to house interdimensional experiments or even early prototypes of anti-gravity craft, blending science fiction with a kernel of mystery rooted in real documents. Today, the exploration continues, but the rules have changed. Many Nazi tunnels lie beneath private property or in protected forests. Governments restrict access for safety and preservation reasons. Some sections are flooded, others are unstable. Still others are believed to be booby-trapped or intentionally collapsed. That's where modern technology comes in. Archaeologists now deploy ground-penetrating radar, GPR, thermal imaging, drones, and laser-based 3D mapping tools to survey terrain without digging. These tools can detect empty spaces, unnatural shapes, and man-made structures deep underground. In one case, in 2021, a GPR scan beneath an Austrian village revealed a honeycomb of interconnected tunnels, completely undocumented, hidden beneath modern homes. International teams now collaborate. Historians, physicists, geologists, all working to uncover and interpret these sites. Their goal? To create a comprehensive map of Nazi subterranean operations, piece by piece. Documentaries, public exhibitions, and museum displays have brought these findings to a global audience. Survivors and families of victims finally see recognition. School children learn that history isn't only found in books, it's buried beneath their very feet. Still, much remains sealed. Some believe the most sensitive secrets, blueprints for advanced weaponry, records of experimental research, evidence of Nazi financial networks, are still locked behind reinforced doors, buried under rubble. Artificial intelligence has joined the hunt. AI-assisted tools help reconstruct destroyed blueprints, analyze historical satellite images, and even predict the locations of potential tunnel sites using topographical and archival data. The result? A surge in credible leads, some of which are now being verified through physical excavation. Will we ever know the full truth? Why does this all matter decades after the war ended? Because these tunnels are more than architectural remnants. They are physical testimony to a dark era, a reminder of how far regimes will go to hide truth, evade defeat, and oppress the vulnerable. They show the cost of unchecked power, the thousands who died carving out these silent chambers. And they offer warnings. When secrets are buried, history risks repeating itself. Every tunnel uncovered, every document retrieved, every relic preserved is a thread added back to the fabric of truth. Together, they give voice to those who were silenced and shed light on chapters that many wanted buried. As the survivors pass on, these discoveries become more urgent. Soon, there will be no one left to tell the stories firsthand. And yet, the Earth remembers. In the years ahead, it's likely that many of these underground systems will be open to public tours, similar to Cold War bunkers. Education centers and virtual reality reconstructions will allow new generations to step into these forgotten corridors and learn firsthand what took place beneath the soil of Europe. As we walk through the forest paths or stay in old European hotels, we may be treading above secrets that once shaped the fate of the world. What else lies beneath our feet? More tunnels will be found. More stories will surface. And with each, we gain not only historical knowledge, but moral clarity. If this journey into the Nazi underground fascinated you, don't let the story end here. Share it. Talk about it. Ask questions, because the shadows of history are only dangerous when we leave them unexplored. Stay curious and keep digging. Binding bonds through beautiful tales. Thank you for watching.